How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Planet Crafter. You probably thought that this series was done. I don't know what gave you that idea. Surely not the fact that I just released a video called Finale in which I said the series was done. But then I remembered that I won't say promised, but I will say strongly implied that I might do a video where I just kind of cover the location of all the golden chests in the game, because I kind of picked those up at different points throughout the series, and it can be really useful to just know where all of them are at one time, so you can go find the ones that you're missing, or just go around and collect all of them if you haven't gotten any of them yet. So that's what I want to do. So even though we have finished the series, now we're going to go back and re-find all of the golden chests. Now, I've already found all the golden chests, so I can't go to them and point to them and say, look, there's the golden chest. But as I found them, I marked each of them with a wind turbine so I could remember this is where a golden chest was. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll go around to all the different golden chest locations, and I'll be able to say, here's where a golden chest should be. They're kind of spread all over the map, and so there's not a nice linear path where we can just go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and so on. So what I'm going to start with is the golden chests that are kind of immediately around this area where you start out. There's several golden chests within easy walking distance from where you start in this game. So those are the ones I'm going to start with, so that if you're starting a new game, you can just go right over to those chests and get them right away. The other ones are a little bit further out, so I'll have to go to those and probably just teleport back. So let's start with this one right over here. So if we duck underwater, there is our original landing capsule. That's where we started the game, at the bottom of what is now Anya's Lake. And if you head over to the south side of this lake, there's a little piece of land that just sticks up from the water. I mean, there's no water here at the very beginning, but if you come over to this cliff face over here, there's some land that is going to be higher than all the other land, and there will be a golden chest right over here in this little, I don't know, cup, this little lower part of the hill. So there's golden chest number 1 against this little canyon wall. I brought the components with me to build a map screen. So for each of these, I'll just put down a map and we'll kind of take a look at where we are, so you can kind of get your bearings. So again, this lake, the center of this is where you typically start unless you choose a different starting location. And so the first golden chest is just directly to the south of where you start. Very close, very easy to find. We'll pop in here for some oxygen. And our second one is really close by. We're going to go up to this crash ship on top of the hill. You can see this from the very beginning of the game. You walk out of your little landing pad and you see this giant crash ship. It's like the first non-natural structure you can see. So we'll come up to the top of this, and there's our little wind turbine. This golden chest is actually going to be on the very top of this crash ship. You just get up top here, and it's kind of tucked away between these two things that are sticking up. I can't build a wind turbine up here, so I just built it off to the side. But this is golden chest location number 2 on top of this giant crashed ship. So again, let's put down our little map display, and we'll kind of see where we're at. So just this crash ship that's directly to the west of the starting location. Golden chest number 2. So to get to the next one, I'm going to cut through the osmium cave. At the very beginning of this game, this cave is actually inaccessible. There's ice blocking it. But I'm going to cut through just because it's shorter than going around. But what we're going to do is head over to the Iridium cave, which you can get into from that side from the very beginning of the game. You can start the game and just walk right over here, assuming you don't run out of oxygen first. But this golden chest is in the very back of the Iridium cave. I keep trying to find it over here on the very top, but it's not. It's actually right under this rock. So there's this very top layer And then on the layer right below that, there's this big rock that's kind of leaning over, and the golden chest is going to be down there underneath that rock. So that is golden chest number 3. Let's take a look at our mapping screen. And we're just right there in the back of this Iridium cave, which is just to the west of where you start out. For the next one, we will head back outside and to the north a little ways. This one's a little bit more of a hike, but still fairly accessible from where you start out early in the game. So to the north, there's this big sort of canyon cliff area which is kind of a maze. It's kind of hard to navigate. So you want to make sure you bring some oxygen capsules, water bottles, maybe some outpost materials. But we're going to go through here. And in the center of this thing is like a space station that has crashed, which you can loot. And it's really good to loot. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's very small. And so you can get a lot of stuff very quickly. And so the golden chest is not up here, but I'm going to come up here to kind of help you get your bearings because this place is a big maze. So looking at this thing from the north side, we're going to go back down to the ground. Whoops. And not take damage. And we're going to come back behind this little cliff face. You can see this girder sticking up out of the ground. Golden chest number 4 is going to be tucked back here in this corner right here. So if we put down our mapping screen and take a look at where we're at, you can kind of see we are back in the northwest corner of this crazy maze-like cliff area. So there's the crashed space station, and this golden chest is going to be directly to the west of that. So that is golden chest number 4. I'm going to go ahead and eat my beans since I took some fall damage a little while ago. And then we'll head back out towards the central plains where I built my base. Yeah, even I sometimes still get lost in this area. So let me pop into my little outpost before we go find the next one. Top off on oxygen. And then the next two are actually really close together. They're both over here in this aluminum area. So the first one is going to be on your way to the aluminum area. There's this little rock bridge. And this one's actually easier to find before you reach lakes, before all this water appears on the map, because it's going to be right underneath this bridge. And so now that it's filled with water, it would be a little bit harder to see. But just come underneath the rock bridge and there will be a golden chest tucked away back there with a lot of goodies inside of it. So that one's really close to the startup area, and it's under this bridge that leads to this giant aluminum area where you can get all the aluminum on the ground. The next one is actually on the back side of this aluminum area, which is easier to find if you go around rather than through. So we just come around to the back, and there will be a golden chest tucked away in this little cranny over here. So let me put down my mapping screen. So you can kind of see there's Lake Anya. There's our starting location where you first spawn. There's my base right now, and we are kind of on the back but north side of the big aluminum valley. So the previous one was right under this bridge over here, and this next one is on the back north side. So those are the first 6 golden chest locations. As you can see, they're all pretty close to where you start out in the game. Pretty easy to reach. They're just kind of all in different directions. So it may take a little bit of effort at the very beginning just because your movement speed is not that fast, your oxygen tank's not that big. But if you know where to go and you bring the supplies to set up an outpost, you can easily reach all 6 of these chests pretty early on in the game. All right, for the next couple, I'm going to take my teleporter just because it's faster than walking. And we're going to head over to Effigy's cave. And this golden chest is actually right outside this uranium mine. So here's the wind turbine for it. And this one's also really hard to find once there's water. And so you may want to come look for this one before the water in this area appears. But we're all the way on the west side of the map, which I'll show you on the mapping screen in just a second. It's going to be tucked away under these rocks back in this little corner right here. So let me get the mapping screen out. Since I took the teleporter, you may not know where we are right now. So if I zoom all the way out, here in the very bottom corner of the map is our starting position. This is Lake Anya. There's my base. This is where you spawn at the very beginning of the game. So this is all the way in the northwest corner. There's this uranium mine. And we are right outside that mine in front of these rock formations. So you see all these rocks. There's one right here that's leaning over that you can kind of get under, and that will be where the golden chest is located. Alright, for the next few, there's actually two that are also really, really close together over here by Shinana Falls, the Sand Falls. So I'll head up to that location. I used to have a teleporter to go over there, but then I moved it back to Liz's cave, so I have to walk or fly. I haven't walked anywhere in ages in this game. So this location is actually new, I believe. It's entirely possible I just never found this in my first playthrough, but I feel like it's new. I feel like they added this recently. So you can see we're up on top of the sand falls that are just next to the Sulphur Valley. And I'm going to hop in over here and refill my oxygen before we go find the chest. I've got a couple of oxygen canisters, so I'm not too worried about running out. So yeah, we're going to come up on top of these sand falls. And this one's a little bit harder to get to if you don't have a jetpack, because you have to get up and over these rocks. And it's going to be right down here in this little cranny. So if you don't have a jetpack and you can't get over those rocks, you're probably going to have to build some stairs or some of the platform foundation grids to get over that. But that is where the next golden chest is. The next one is actually just right down here at the base of these sand falls. It's kind of hard to see with all the trees. But over here, there's a little pile of rocks at the very bottom. So there's the sand falls, there's the golden chest up on top. And down here, there's a rock formation, and there's a little entrance that you can kind of get in and back over here. And there's the golden chest, which apparently I never completely cleared this one out. So that one is actually still there. So let me set up my map screen, and we'll see where we're at. So I'll zoom out a little bit. So here's Anya's Lake. This is a starting location. There's my base. And so this is through the Iridium mines. I think you kind of can't get to this area early on. The Sulphur Valley is blocked from the Iridium mines by some ice until that melts. I don't remember about this entrance on this side. But either way, this is pretty far from where you start. So it may take you a while to get over to this area, just until you have a big enough oxygen tank and enough mobility to really get onto this side of the map. But this one at the base of the falls is in this little rock formation, and the other one was right up here on top of the falls behind all these rocks. This is the first time I've noticed all of our nuclear reactors and heaters in a row up on top on the map. That looks really cool. All right, so that is the 3 golden chests that are on the west side, on this side of the map. Now I need to head back to my base in the center of the map, and we'll go find some. We'll teleport to the east side and go find some over there. If you just looked up this video because it says golden chest locations and you haven't actually been watching the entire series, I would encourage you to go back and watch the series. It's fun. I do a Let's Play series where I just start playing the game. And so it's not like tutorials. It's not an explanation of the game. And I'm just playing and having a blast. And it was so much fun to record. As you can see, we got a whole lot done. Built this beautiful base. I'm really happy with it. So if you haven't watched the series, I would highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to head back up to my teleporter. And we'll head out to Mike's Canyon, which is the teleporter by our Stargate. And so there's two over here, and unfortunately they're in opposite directions. So we'll head south first. And this one I actually had a lot of trouble finding. I knew that there's one over here, but it's inside of a rock formation, and there's a bunch of rock formations over here, and so finding the specific one, it's probably going to come down to a process of trial and error. So there's my wind turbine. That's why I leave these things behind, to help me find these locations again in the future. And it's going to be inside of this little like donut made out of rocks. So this is another one that if you don't have the jetpack yet, you're going to need to build some stairs or some foundation grids or something to get up and in here. And then you might have a hard time getting out. So you may want to wait to look for this one until you have a jetpack. Let's get our mapping screen, which I'm actually surprised I can build it right there. And we'll take a look at where we're at. So if I zoom all the way out, here's Lake Anya. That's the starting location. There's my base. Here's the Stargate, and we are just a little ways south of the Stargate in this little circular rock formation. The next one, we're going to head back to our Stargate outpost and then go to the north into what I named Mike's Canyon. And there's a golden chest in the canyon somewhere. I say somewhere because this is one that, it's another one that I know it's in the canyon, but the specific location, I always forget. And I have to just kind of look around until I finally find it. It should be a lot easier this time since I marked it with a wind turbine. If you want a nice challenge, you can actually select this canyon, this location, as your starting location for the game. It's a very challenging place to start just because it's so far away from many of the resources that you need. But you can pick it, and so if you do, then this golden chest will be right within reach. Otherwise, you're probably going to want to wait until you've got the mobility upgrades and the oxygen tank upgrades to come out this far. So I believe it was either right behind this rock or like in this little pile of boulders. I don't remember the specific location of the chest, but it's around this rock formation over here. So if we put down our mapping screen, we'll take a look at where we're at. So I said this one's to the west, but I guess this is actually due north of where we start. I can't zoom out far enough to see the lake, but the lake where you start is right down here. There's my base. That's just north of the lake. And so we're up in this giant canyon, and it's just right there in the middle on the north side of the canyon. So those are the two golden chests on this side of the map. We'll head back to our base, and there's actually only one more golden chest, but there's also a 13th golden effigy that's not in a golden chest. Every golden chest has a golden effigy, which is just like the little gold statues that you find. They've also got gold nuggets, uranium rods, I think super alloy. There's a lot of goodies inside those golden chests. And so I'll show you the location of the last golden chest and the 13th golden effigy, which is inside of one of the underground bunkers. Alright, so let's head back to our base. And this next one, I guess it's actually kind of close to where we start out. It was just in the complete opposite direction of everything else, and so I didn't go that way. But here we are over the lake where you originally start. And so we're going to head to the southeast through this little canyon to the red spiky area. The area that I really don't like that much. So yeah, this is the area with all these rock spikes that are sticking out of the ground and the deep red haze that makes it really hard to see. So if you just hug the cliff wall, go past the mine that has some iridium and osmium, this is going to be blocked off by ice early on in the game. And so just keep coming around, and it's going to be right here behind one of these giant spires in the back of this area. So let's put down our map screen, and you can see, yeah, here's the lake where we start. So I guess this is actually due east, not really southeast that much. And we're just kind of right in the back behind these spires in this area. So this one's a little bit hard to find just because your visibility in this area is really low. Everything kind of looks the same. But if you just hug this cliff wall and then turn around, then you should see it behind one of these giant stone spikes. So let's go in here, we'll top off on our oxygen, and then the last one, the 13th effigy that's not in a golden chest, is going to be over in the large Iridium crater, which I believe is one of the new areas that they added in the last update. If you're watching this way in the future and the game is like finished and it's available, you may be wondering what the last update was. If you look in the bottom right corner of my screen, I'm currently playing early access version 0.4. And so they're still working on the game. They're still introducing things. There's probably going to be more golden chests that get added after this. So I'll have to do another golden chest episode. Let me top off on food really fast. Then I'm going to go up to my teleporter and we'll teleport back to the zeolite area, which I have called Liz's Cave. And if we look at our map just to get our bearings, so we're due west of the starting area. So there's the starting lake, there's my base, and we are now in this cave which produces zeolite, which you can get to through this osmium cave or coming around through the sulfur, not the sulfur, but the sand falls area. So we're going to head south into this large crater that has the giant Iridium asteroid in it, which I believe is this way. I always have a hard time finding my way out of this cave. Yeah, so this big area, which looks really amazing once all the dust has cleared. Early on in the game, this place is terrifying. There's all this fog or dust at the bottom of this place. You can't see anything. It's very hard to get in and out of. But once you reach lakes and maybe a little bit later into the game, all that stuff goes away. This place fills up with water and it actually turns into a really nice area. Trying to get some water here. Not sure why it's not letting me drink. I'll just drink the water that I brought with me. So in the very back of this canyon, there's an underground bunker, which I think is the biggest underground bunker in the game. It is huge. And so I set up a little outpost over here where I could top off on oxygen. And so you go down this ladder. Oh, maybe it's because I had my deconstruction module selected. So we go down this ladder, go down it again. We're now into this base. And I don't remember the exact location of the golden effigy in here. I remember it was sitting on top of a desk. So if we just go all through this area, I thought I broke down all these doors. see if we can find, yeah, so I think it was sitting on this desk right here next to the message screen. So it could be in a different location. I don't know if this is something that always spawns in the exact same spot. I thought someone said that they found it inside of one of the large chests, but it is somewhere inside of this large bunker. Because this thing is so big, it takes a lot of time to navigate and explore, and it's so far away. This is definitely a later game find. You kind of want to wait until you've got the tier 4, tier 5 oxygen tank, or tier 3 or tier 4. I forgot there's no tier 5. You want to wait until you've got the max mobility boost just so you can really navigate and get around easily, because this one's hard to find. So let's put down our mapping screen and we'll see where we're at. You can see we're all the way on the very edge of the map here. This is the starting location. You kind of have to go through this osmium cave, through the zeolite cave, and then come and cross this crater. And it is all the way on the south side of this crater. That is where you will find the 13th golden effigy, which is so far the only one that is not inside of a golden chest. So there you have it, all of the golden chest locations and the 13th golden effigy. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it useful. If so, please hit that like button. Help me out. Help spread this channel. Help spread this video so other people can find it. And I will see you guys later.